Well, Governor Roy Cooper warning people to be prepared for all the rain. Emergency responders are in place getting ready to respond to significant flooding in much of North Carolina.
Capitol reporter Michael Hyland is live for us in Raleigh with that story. Michael, the governor says the impacts could last several days.
Right, in particular, we could see river flooding for several days with these slow-moving storms. We've had experience with these kind of storms, unfortunately, in recent years, but the governor says the state has made some changes to try to be better prepared. As Debby slowly moves toward North Carolina, Governor Roy Cooper urging people to be ready.
This storm can bring dangerous conditions to much of our state.
He says the National Guard and swiftwater rescue teams are in place, with eastern North Carolina being a top concern. State leaders will monitor it from the Situation Room at the Emergency Operations Center. There's the potential for significant flooding, and state crews are trying to mitigate the impact.
One thing we've done all this week is we've had crews out in low-lying areas and known trouble spots, cleaning debris.
Since the historic flooding from Hurricanes Matthew and Florence in 2016 and 2018, Cooper says the state is better prepared. There are more gauges along the rivers, which can be monitored online and help with evacuation orders. Some damaged homes are elevated when they're rebuilt, or not rebuilt at all if the future flooding risk is too great. While Cooper's administration has faced criticism for the pace of recovery from those storms, the governor says they focused on making the state more resilient.
We hope that this event will not approach the catastrophic nature of both of those hurricanes, but it just shows us that we have to pay attention.
The state is already coordinating with FEMA as well, and officials warn with this storm you could see flooding in places that you may not be used to seeing it, that much of the state could have significant impacts from this. Angela?
Well, Michael, with a state of emergency declared at the federal and state level, what's the benefit of local communities declaring a state of emergency?
Well, a lot of this has to do with, of course, at the federal level, getting access to that funding and the resources ahead of time, and then to deal with the recovery afterwards. At the state level, when the governor declared an emergency earlier this week, that also affects state laws. So you've got the waiver of certain transportation requirements. The utility vehicles can get where they need to be. Crops and livestock, it affects that as well, getting them transported, and triggers the state's price gouging law. So there are some different elements to this at each level.
All right, Michael, thank you so much.